Hello, gorgeous. Let's cue the music. Thanksgiving, the American holiday of gratitude, family, and food. Yum. Every year, families gather to give thanks, and somehow most of them end up leaving with grudges, from stolen turkeys to uninvited guests and questionable taste buds. These stories just might make you grateful your family dinner isn't this bad. Hello and welcome, Threadheads. My name is Ashley, and this week we are carving into Reddit's juiciest Thanksgiving tales. Will I stop with the food puns? I don't think so. I'm enjoying myself. As the jury of Threadheads, I want to know if you guys will be digging in or backing all the way out for this one. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up. You can then subscribe just so you don't miss a single helping of drama. As always, thank you guys for being here. It means the world to me. It really does. It also means you're nosy. Do I get tired of saying that? No, I do not. I absolutely love it. It's like my favorite part of recording when I get to call you guys out. But don't worry, I'm right there with you. Without further ado, let's jump into some stories. Ashley read it, and now, so will you. Alright, our first story comes from the relationship advice subreddit by Thurraggy Girl, who says, "My boyfriend uninvited me to Thanksgiving with his family. Why? OP is 25 and the boyfriend is 26. His mom invited me to their family Thanksgiving. It's a 4-day event where the entire family gets an Airbnb and has giant dinners. They also go do fun events together during these 4 days. My boyfriend is okay with me going to the dinners that aren't on the actual Thanksgiving day, and he's fine with me going to the events. However, he does not want me to go to the actual Thanksgiving dinner. He told me he wants me to spend Thanksgiving with my own family, and that sometimes his mom forgets that other people have families. The thing is though, I don't have a family Thanksgiving to go to. My mom will be out of the country, and my sister will be at my dad's house, and I am not welcome there. I told my boyfriend this, thinking he would then say, 'Oh, I didn't know. Okay, you can come to my family's Thanksgiving.' However, he did not say that. He just gave me a face of sympathy, and then continued to watch Family Feud on the TV. I find this strange, and I'm trying to understand why he would want to go solo to Thanksgiving. I've had casual dinners with his family, and I was his +1 to his sister's wedding, so why would he uninvite me? I mean, it's not like they've had a fight. From OP's perspective, I don't think he's done anything this out of pocket before. If it's out of character, I would be saying press on it, go talk to him and figure out why he doesn't want you to be invited. And if he's still doing the whole ignoring you and watching TV antic, I would say talk to his mother. If you have anyone to contact in his family that you can speak to and ask them what is going on, I would say talk to them if he's choosing to be a knob. If he was being mean about it, if he was being disrespectful, I would say, get up in arms and be like, don't go where you're not respected or wanted. I would be saying that, but he just seems to be, como se dice, oblivious. But our top comment comes from Bongwater Bouquet. You should probably ask him this instead of us. It's hard to say for sure what reasons he may have, and when you brought it up, it seems to me you may not have been direct enough. My partner would respond the same way, and instead of getting in my head about it, I would directly tell him I don't have anywhere to be, so I can still make it to his family's, unless there's a reason he doesn't want me to, leaving him the floor to speak. You need to ask him, bottom line. All we can do is speculate here, and it isn't going to help you find answers. In a healthy relationship, this should be easy to navigate just by a conversation. Good luck to you, OP. And other people in the comments were mostly asking OP to either talk to him or talk to his mother. Because again, this is a very short post with very little info as to what could possibly be going on. But OP then elaborates the next day and gives an update, which is slightly longer, but is still very short. OP is a woman of few words, it appears. OP says, I took the advice of the lovely Reddit users and I talked to him directly. I am now back to being invited to his family's Thanksgiving and I will be going. His reason for uninviting me? Well, he didn't want my mom to be upset with him for taking me away during a holiday. He was imagining that she'd be alone if I went to his family's Thanksgiving. Why didn't he re-invite me the moment I told him while he was watching TV that my mom was going to be out of the country? He was surprised and had a brain fart. The end.
Damn.
Side note, I really don't appreciate all the comments saying that he's cheating on me. Who is telling OP that he's cheating? Why are you guys so quick to just jump to conclusions on Reddit? I love Reddit because people give good advice, but for every 20 good advice, you will see a few 5 or 3 saying things like break up, divorce, kill him. It's just like, they're so quick to just jump to the worst case scenario. Guys, this is real life. Just sometimes people just drop the ball. Sometimes it's not that serious. This is a short one to start with, okay? This is like our calmest story, I think, for Thanksgiving. So I want to know, would you guys trade a seat at your family's dinner table for a seat at OP's dinner table this Thanksgiving? Do let me know in the comments, and while you do that, I'm going to go on a short tea break and then we'll move to the next story. We are going over to the True Off My Chest subreddit with a post by Sterling Turkey 2022. And I'm sure you can already tell by OP's name we're talking about Sterling Turkey, but if you didn't, here is the title of OP's post. A guest stole our Thanksgiving turkey. I just want to know how does a person, did they put it under their shirt? Like, how did they escape the house with a whole ass turkey? OP says, I'm confused and frustrated and I need to vent. We hosted Thanksgiving this year. My husband and I, our 2 kids, husband's siblings, and nieces and nephews, and most importantly, husband's gravely ill mother. We are all at peace that this Thanksgiving and Christmas will probably be our last holidays together. It's been emotional and exhausting, but we really wanted to make it a memorable day that everyone would enjoy. Our daughter Mary is visiting from college, and one day before she flew in, she says her boyfriend Chris is actually flying to our city to visit some friends over the break. Mary then asked if he could come over for Thanksgiving. We've never met Chris before, but to be honest, we're not wild about him. As soon as Mary started dating him, we started seeing some worrying changes in her. Our son, who is just a couple years older than her, confided in us that Mary is getting into the party scene largely because of Chris. We've tried gently bringing up our concerns with Mary, but she shuts it down and has started to pull away from us. So because we didn't want to alienate her, we said Chris could visit, but they need to stay in separate rooms. She said that wouldn't matter because he's booked a hotel room and she'll be staying there with him the whole weekend. Okay. Cut to Thanksgiving and Mary and Chris arrive. He's not the greatest. He makes a couple rude/snide remarks throughout the visit and hits the alcohol way harder than is appropriate. My family was in a very earnest mood, if that makes sense. Lots of emotions, and he was just dismissive and flippant and cast a shadow on everything. At one point, everyone started telling stories about their favorite holidays at mother-in-law's house when she would go all out for family parties. My husband and I stopped working in the kitchen to join the conversation.
It's about to go down.
When we go back to the kitchen after maybe half an hour, I went to check the turkey in the oven and it's gone. It's completely missing. I asked my husband if he did something with the turkey and he was just as confused as I was. We looked all over the kitchen and in the house and we couldn't find it. We go out to the living room and asked everyone if they know what happened to the turkey, and no one knows what we're talking about. At this point, I realized Chris isn't around anymore. I pull Mary to the side and ask her where he is because I don't want to jump to conclusions and make accusations. She said he had to leave to go meet up with his friends. I asked her to text him and ask if he knows what happened to the turkey, and Mary kind of rolls her eyes. At this point, it's dawning on me that Chris probably stole the turkey and left out the back door while we were sharing stories with mother-in-law, but I'm just so confused why anyone would do something like that. I can't bring myself to actually make the accusation out loud. So, we were left in the terrible position of having everything else ready, but no turkey. We had to break it to the family that we had no turkey and everyone is confused and sad. Mary said she had to get going to an event with Chris, which deeply disappointed me. I told her as much and she just said she'll see us again later this weekend. My in-laws went driving around to restaurants and grocery stores and pieced together enough stuff that we were able to have a meal much later than expected, but it felt like the whole day was ruined. Everyone was kind of murmuring about Chris leaving around the time the turkey disappeared. No one wanted to actually accuse him out loud because it's such an explosion accusation and there's not actually any proof. I'm just confused why anyone would do such a thing. And I'm heartbroken because my mother-in-law didn't deserve this at all. At one point, she teared up but pulled it together. I'm also increasingly angry with my daughter, but I feel like I can't say anything because she'll just pull away more.
You're lucky my friend's holding me. You lucky, because I'll tear your head off. Don't hold me back, dog.
I just want to check that everyone else also knows that Chris did it, right? Like, who else could it possibly be? As much as I'm angry at Chris, he saw a family coming together, sharing memories, having this nostalgic air around them. And he said, the best thing for us to do right now, guys, is to ruin the mood and steal a flipping turkey. Who steals a turkey for Thanksgiving? Like, are you hungry? What was the point in stealing the turkey? What was his goal? You're meeting your girlfriend's family for the very first time, and your thought process is, I want to make them hate me. And like I said, as much as I hate him as a person for what he's done, he is not the only person I blame here. I blame his girlfriend, Mary. And the reason I'm upset with Mary is because it's one thing to date a red flag. It's another thing to be so dismissive of your family because of the red flag. When you saw your grandmother shed a tear, did it not move you? When you saw your mother and father distraught, searching the house, under the pillows, under the bed, in the wardrobe for a flippin' turkey, did it not make you feel embarrassed at least? Like, even if you don't feel bad, did you not feel shame that the person you brought to your house is a big disgrace? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
It's crazy. How do you see that happen? How do you see your entire family heartbroken? And what you can say is, this is fun, guys. I just have to go. Chris is like having this thing and I need to be there for him, guys. Okay, I really would like to stay. And Mimo, I'm sorry you're crying because like you're about to die. I'll see you in heaven, I guess. Like I gotta go, guys. Chris has a function. I need to be there. Later. Are you sick in the head? The African mother I have, the smacking I would have received would have helped me remember to be respectful. Chris is a crappy person altogether, but OP is so afraid that her daughter is going to pull away. Let it happen. Sometimes the only way to show them that they're making a bad choice is to let them make that bad choice. What you can do as a parent is to be there as a cushion. If she's chosen this path, I say let her ride it out. Remind her to be safe and careful, and tell her that you are there no matter what happens, but you are completely disappointed in how she is behaving. But you will not tolerate her behavior. You will not tolerate her disregarding this entire family for a guy, and a shameless one at that. Ew. Like, I lose faith in my family over a guy? Come off it. Come off it quickly.
By failure, you are a failure. You can never make it.
Our top comment. I love the way like I go from like really upset to being very calm, by the way, when I have to give comments. Fascinating. Our top comment is by Nick D4866, who says, all else aside, who just leaves Thanksgiving family dinner out the back door? He 1000% most definitely stole the turkey, which is so effing disrespectful, and everyone should have made a huge deal out of it. Your daughter needs to understand that it is a fact, not an opinion, that she is dating a piece of crap. I absolutely second this. You are catching strays because of your acceptance of his BS. And then on the same day, OP then makes a short edit to her initial post and says, I was talking with my son today and he told me that last night Chris started taunting him over text about the missing turkey. Chris, I want to strangle you. Chris stole the turkey basically as a big F you to all of us. My son didn't say anything at the time because he didn't want to make people more upset than they already were. One of my husband's siblings is very mad at us for how things turned out and how mother-in-law was disrespected. The sibling is not talking with us right now. I've tried calling and texting Mary, but she is so far ignoring me. That is all I have to say about this. OP, let your child go. Leave her alone at this point. Let her experience Chris. Some people just need to learn by experience. But OP then posts an update a year later. OP says, Hi everyone, this incident has been on my family's mind this week, and my son encouraged me to write an update. Last year, I hoped to talk with Mary in person about what Chris did, but she blew me off and didn't visit home for the rest of Thanksgiving weekend. We spoke briefly on the phone a few days later, but she denied that Chris stole our turkey, even though Chris taunted my son about it, basically admitting what he did. Unfortunately, my mother-in-law passed away about 2 weeks after Thanksgiving. The ripple effects were profound. Our family expected her to live through Christmas, so it was very difficult to lose what we thought would be her last holiday. And it was even more bitter that the Thanksgiving that was her actual last holiday was ruined by Chris and his incomprehensible theft. From there, it got even worse. Mary flew in for my mother-in-law's funeral and mentioned that Chris might travel with her to see a concert in our city. We made it clear that he was not welcome in our home or at the funeral. He ultimately stayed at their college. But on the day of the visitation, a bomb threat was made against the funeral home, and we all had to evacuate while the police conducted a search. The police were never able to prove it, but I strongly suspect Chris made the threat. My mother-in-law's visitation was cut significantly short, and she was denied a dignified end. Some people who wanted to pay their respects ultimately could not because of the evacuation and inspection. One of my husband's siblings has gone no contact with us because they blame my husband and I for ruining the end of mother-in-law's life by inviting Chris to Thanksgiving last year. Mary has refused to take any responsibility for how her relationship with Chris has damaged our family. We, husband and I and Mary, have mutually decided to go no contact. My son has minimal contact with Mary and follows her on social media. Apparently, Mary and Chris are still together. I'm sorry I have such a sad update, but my family and I are very grateful for all the support we received last year. Thank you. And then someone asked OP in the comments, does no contact mean cutting her off financially? And OP responds, that's part of it, but there is money in a trust from mother-in-law that Mary is legally entitled to, and my husband is the administrator. We also don't want her out on the streets or to abandon her education. That would drag her down even farther as a person. Guys, there is no redemption arc for Mary or Chris at this point, and it's so sad. I feel upset. I feel very sad for the mother-in-law. Reading the part where she shed a tear, it just makes me so upset. I can even understand the husband's siblings going no contact for now. Everyone is probably feeling very emotional and hurt by what's happened. And Mary isn't behaving like a Mary. Most Marys I know are really gentle people. I'm surprised. What I even want her to think about is if he is doing these things to people around you, if you're watching him be psychotic and you think you are helping your relationship by defending him, ask yourself what happens on the day you decide to leave him. How will he react to you? And if you are in a position where you feel threatened or fearing your safety, when you have isolated yourself from everyone, who will you turn to protect you from him? I'm glad that her brother at least is able to monitor her to make sure she's still okay. You can't save everyone. Like I said before, some people just have to experience it to understand why it's a bad thing. I hope the worst case scenario doesn't happen and she's able to realize how hurtful and harmful her behavior is and fix it before it's too late, I guess. But that's enough about me ranting. I want to know what you guys think. Would you be willing to sit at the dinner table of this turkey-less family, or would you be sticking with your family this Thanksgiving? Do let me know in the comments, and while you do that, we are going to go on a short tea break, and when we return, we are going over to the next story. We are going over to the Am I the A-hole subreddit with a post by BaseVars2471 who says, am I the a-hole for laughing after my sister implied that my brother's girlfriend's dish wasn't good at Thanksgiving? I, 27 female, and my brother, John, 26 male, are very close, so I was definitely shocked when he surprised us on Thanksgiving by bringing his new girlfriend, Chelsea. He was very happy though, and to be honest, that's the only thing we want for him. So we, my grandparents, parents, aunts, uncles, and cousins, held off on asking all questions until another time. Anyway, dinner time rolls around and we're sharing everything. My aunt kind of pulls me off to the side and tells me we're not going to be eating my mashed potatoes because Chelsea brought some and John asked that we serve those. I was a little peeved, not gonna lie, because I've done the mashed potatoes for Thanksgiving since I was 16, but I got over it pretty fast. I really didn't care as long as they were good. Spoiler alert, they were not. Is OP a trustworthy narrator, to be honest? What if she's being salty because they put her own dish to the side? Maybe it's not even that bad. Okay, OP says, everything that could have gone wrong with those potatoes went wrong. There were raisins in the mashed potatoes.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it.
She was really excited though, so when she asked everybody if they were good, she got some you know, the kind you do with your mouth closed and an uncomfortable smile on your face. Everything else was good, so her dish was highlighted. We all thought we passed it though, until my nephew spit it out into a tissue.
Oh, it's bad. It's
real bad. It's like eating a hot circle of garbage.
She said something about not pleasing everybody to lighten the mood because we were all looking at him hard as hell. And my brother went, "I'm sure they're glad to have a break from OP's potatoes anyway," and then laughed. I wasn't going to say anything, but my sister, 22 female, said, "We are not," in the most monotone voice, and I just laughed like one burst of a cackle. Chelsea teared up and the rest of the night was awkward. My brother called me an ASS and is still mad at me. So, am I the a-hole? Edit. My sister and I both apologized. Although I just said, "I'm really sorry," and my sister did more. I'm sorry, I just need a moment. I still can't get over the mashed potatoes. I'm just trying. I still can't get over the raisins. I'm sorry. It's just... And you know what? I mean, all of this, my biggest concern is the brother. The brother is the biggest up in this entire thing. The enemy in this is John. I get that you're googly eyes, John, but you watched your girlfriend put raisins in that dish. You said nothing. You saw her pack that dish up. You saw her carry that dish to the car. You drove that nonsense in your car to the venue and you still said nothing. You watched your girlfriend take the dish out and put it on the center table and you still said nothing. It's when you saw your nephew spit it out, your stupid mouth opened up and you, from the floodgates of heaven, you said, "At least we all need a break from OP's mashed potatoes." Chelsea, your biggest up is your boyfriend. The enemy in this entire ordeal is the boyfriend. You can't convince me. What did he do? Why is he angry? Why is he upset at the sisters? They were simply bystanders, okay? This entire thing is crazy. You saw your family try to be diplomatic and say, yum, and you took that as a sign to dig a bigger pit for your girlfriend. If your girlfriend is upset, you caused it. You go buy her a nice bracelet. You go buy her a necklace. But the top comment is by SilkyLink07, who says, "Not the a-hole. Your brother, however, is the a-hole here. He set her up. He should have told the family he was bringing someone to dinner. He knew that you make the mashed potatoes every year. He saw those raisins. And then he made the comment about your dish. Your brother set her up. You laughing at your sister's comment is a result of your brother being dumb. If it's the first time you bring a new girlfriend, you don't have her make a dish. If she really needed to cook something, it should have been discussed with the family beforehand, not as a surprise. You're better than me because I would have refused raisin potatoes and snuck my own potatoes out." And then Alcina Mystic has helped us set out the 7 deadly sins of OP's brother. They say, yeah, the brother is an absolute jerk on so many levels. Sin number 1, surprise, is an extra guest you weren't expecting and didn't plan for. Hope there's enough seats, plates, food, patience, etc. Sin number 2, you have never met this guest. She's a total stranger. Sin number 3, she brought a dish that I expect everyone to eat. Sin number 4, it's a dish that is nothing like the one we always get and anticipate. Sin number 5, it is a dish always made the same way by the same person for over 10 years. Sin number 6, I'm going to take shots at my own perfectly pleasant sister because a kid spat out some raisins. Sin number 7, I'm going to act like a spoiled, inconsiderate jerk when people don't respond well to my jab. That was 7 levels of rude. Jeez, is this a new record? And 4 days later, OP comes in with an update. OP says, to answer some questions and clear things up in general first, yes, they were actual raisins, not the metaphorical kind. They were just mixed into the mashed potatoes. Yes, my wife makes a side salad as all traditional dishes are given to immediate family members. No, my brother does not make anything, and he never has. Chelsea and John have been together about a month and a half at this point. The laugh wasn't a ha ha ha, it was a ha, just one very loud ha. Alright, into the meat. John is still mad at my sister and I had a conversation with Chelsea a day after I originally made the post. I explained that while my original apology was genuine, I can understand that it didn't come off that way and that I really was sorry. I also said that I had no intentions to hurt her feelings whatsoever. She explained that my brother told her to bring that potatoes.
Of course it is.
which she questioned because she is familiar with the traditional Thanksgiving setup. The justification for that was him, quote, wanting her to feel like a part of the family. She also said she was worried about none of us going for her dish and mentioned it to my brother, who then asked my aunt to only display hers. Apparently, she saw some kind of tutorial online with the raisins and just went for it. No, it was not cultural. She asked for some mashed potato tips and she was going right with her technique. She just panicked when they burned and then added water, which I'm assuming is what altered the taste. Then she added the raisins, which we both agreed can be left out of future potatoes. Lol. Overall, Chelsea and I are all good and she'll be coming to Christmas dinner. So like I said, the enemy in this was the brother. Johnny boy, Jonathan, if you ever happen to listen to this, I just want you to know you made an enemy out of me because I don't see why you're upset. Are you upset because you got caught or because you made a foolish decision? Like, why are you upset? Your girlfriend is fine. The biggest problem here was you. For OP, new suggestion. Have your Christmas dinner with everyone but John. See how cheerful you all will be. Can't tell who I hate more today. If it's John or Chris from the last story. Like, I'm just, both of you pissed me off. Go to a corner, think about your choices. But anyway, I want to know what you guys think. All three tables, which one would you see yourself sitting through all the way from start to finish? All awkwardness, all chaos, all misunderstanding considered. Which one do you see yourself going for seconds for? Do you let me know in the comments? But with that, we have come to the end of our trip down the rabbit hole. I was going to make a pun about turkeys there, but I decided to give you guys a break. No need to thank me. You're welcome. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end. And if you're seeing this, do let me know your favorite holiday. For me personally, I really enjoy Christmas because of the weather, not even for the tradition. I just love how cold and cozy you get with Christmas coming around. If you enjoyed today's video, show your girl some love. I do appreciate when I get likes, do you give it a thumbs up? And if you'd like to see more of my content, or if you'd like to listen to me in the background, I post every week, knock on wood, so you can always subscribe and get notified of when I post. We also have a channel on Spotify, so if you're someone who doesn't want to keep your phone on permanently, or you're not, bougie and rich paying for YouTube Premium, you can always go over to our Spotify channel, which I link below as well to the other socials. I'm not saying don't watch it here, I'm just saying, you can have options. And also, if you have your own stories, events, questions, confessions, dramas, anything you would like us to discuss or give you advice on, anything you would like some commentary on, we do have our own subreddit, which is r/AshleyReddit. Feel free to post on there, and you never know, your story just might make it to the next video, or it might inspire the next video's theme. With all that said, until next time, keep it nosy and keep it cozy. Ashley read it, and now so did you. Gobble gobble.